Hey everybody, this is Melanie and I'm so excited to have you join me for my first process video here on YouTube. Today I'm creating a foundation page for December Daily that will be used on the first day of winter. This was created on my Cricut. I designed the cut file in Photoshop and cut it on a piece of paper from Close to My Heart's Serenity collection. I cut it down to fit into the Citrus Twist Life Crafted album, which is what I'm using for December Daily this year. I had a template already cut out so I could see exactly where I wanted the squares and be sure the holes wouldn't punch into the squares on the sides. And I lined it up on each side to have plenty of room for the holes and not have the edges of the squares be so thin that they ripped as it got turned. So I'm kind of jumping ahead here so you can see how I finished cutting this page. And then I punched the holes to be sure they were on there correctly. If you don't have this 6-hole punch and you're using any of the scrapbooks that have 6 holes, it's a lifesaver. I love using it versus just a regular hole punch just because it does them all at once and not 6 holes. So here I'm lining up the second set of square windows. I'm going to put those back to back with the charms in between them. And I used score tape on here. This is what I'll use to hold down the charms. And then I'll put more score tape on in just a few minutes so that I can adhere the front and back together and hide the string. And this score tape is from scrapbook.com. I think it's the 1/4 of an inch. It's my favorite. I use it the most, but I do have the 1/8 of an inch that I use occasionally as well. So I just used embroidery thread in a gray color. And the charms are from Tim Holtz. When I saw them on Joann's website, this idea came to mind and I decided to go for it. So you can see I peeled off the backing of the score tape and used that to put the thread down. And I'm using all 6 strands of the thread. If you didn't want it so thick, you could definitely separate it, but I left it a little bit thicker. And then I do this for each of the 6 charms. I have them spaced out to the side so I could decide what sizes looked best where. So I do this for each of the charms. I get them centered and then push them down into the adhesive. And I did find, instead of cutting like I do there, if I pulled the extra thread across the adhesive a little bit more, it held better. So I start doing that with the additional charms. And I don't make you watch me thread every single charm because I'm doing the same thing 6 times. Okay, so you can see here the finished product and how they dangle within the squares. The squares were cut at 1 3/4 inches each, I believe. From there, I put the score tape down on each of the sides and get it ready to put the backing on. I make sure not to cover up the holes on the side, and I put one in the middle too to try to adhere it all a little bit better. I will say I might should have done foam tape or something because the parts where the thread is a little thicker, but it does work. So I'll line it up here. You can see that it's a little off at the top, but I will fix that in just a minute. I press it all down to get it nice and stuck together. And then I do trim off the excess paper on each side. And I quickly realized that these little scissors are taking far too long. So I reach over and grab the big scissors to cut it a little bit faster. I really like this paper from Close to My Heart. when I purchased it, I thought it was more of a Thanksgiving grateful type theme, and when I got it, it was much more wintry, and it's just really pretty. It's got flecks of almost a gold color in it. So here I'm punching the holes again so that it's all the way through now that we have the back side on. And then I lay down all the charms. This is a stamp set from Studio Calico, designed by Creative Bubble, which is one of my favorite designers right now. I am using ink from Close to My Heart. This is the Sapphire color. And I will stamp this 2 different times because I'm going to put these back to back, as you'll see in just a moment. I love the Close to My Heart ink pads because they open and close so easily. And I was recently reorganizing all of my craft stuff and found these old circle punches from Close to My Heart that I got in probably 2003 or 2004, and they still work perfect. So I was really excited to pull them out and use them on this project. So a lot of the ones I have right now have decided to quit working. So I'm going to put this down at the bottom and then flip it over and put the exact same stamp on both sides. I don't usually do something like that, but I like the way it looked for this project. And then I continue stamping different images from that set. And when you see me rubbing it on my arm, these are new stamps, and that's just the technique I use so that they take the ink a little bit better and you get a more crisp image. Some people use erasers and clean them off or rub them on their hand. I usually rub it on my arm for some reason. It's just what works for me. So the last stamp, I used the Toffee stamp color from Close to My Heart, and here I'm using the Sapphire stamp again, or not stamp, the Sapphire ink. And then another punch from Creative Memories. I don't know if they still make these. Like I said, these are really old. And then I'm kind of deciding where I want to lay these. The small circle says Hello Winter, and it has a snowflake in the center. There I'm using Toffee again for another phrase. I believe I used Let It Snow here. No, this one's going to be Let It Snow. So I just go back and forth between the Sapphire and the Toffee. Those are the colors that match the collection from Close to My Heart the best. And then I just fussy cut those out to try to get rid of some of the white around them. And I debated as I was going through this, did I want to do some embossing, make some gold or silver snowflakes around the page. And ultimately I decided to wait. I put down some basic embellishments, and when I go back in December to do the actual layout, I may add some more snowflakes to this or to the corresponding pictures and journaling. But I thought I would just get a base and then go from there in December. And on that wording, I didn't like the stark white down on the page, so I added I used a scrap from the Serenity collection to add a little bit more color to ground that piece a little bit. And I also added some foam tape to pop that up. So we're almost done with this layout. I'm going to do one more little embellishment that says Let It Snow on the back. And I just really like how it came together. And I think it'll be the perfect way to document the first day of winter, even though I don't know how much snow we're going to get this year based on all of the predictions I'm seeing. Hopefully we get at least one good snow for us to be able to play outside in it. Okay, so here is the final project. I think I'm going to use this on the first day of winter. And I'm not sure if I'll do a picture story on this side or have it on the reverse side, but this came together like I was hoping. I've thought about adding some embossed snowflakes, but I'm gonna wait until the day of and see what I add to it. I may add the number here, and it turned out really cute. I really like how it looks. So thanks for watching.